Welcome back, everyone. It is Monday, November 3rd in the NBA. My best bets are on the way. In this video, we have several player props, some long shot parlays, and the beginning of our new segment, The Streak. We'll dive into that in just one moment. As always, my name is Austin. Thank you guys for tuning in. We need to recap how we did on Sunday. Now, we crushed the NFL, but unfortunately, we gave a little bit back in the NBA. A little bit frustrating. Our winners were solid. Cam Thomas, Con Knipple, thanks for doing your jobs. Colin Sexton, his line went up to 20.5. He did not come through. Kristaps 0 for 4. And then my VIP play, Booker under an assist, might have been worst read of the season. But I really don't feel like we have been as bad as the record shows this season. Down 6 units is obviously not ideal. But if you've been following me over the last few seasons, you know I've turned in 40+ unit seasons almost every single year. So we'll get back to that. It feels like we're just putting our money on the wrong things. If you've been tracking my player prop leans, I gave 3 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. All those 5 have hit. So it feels just like we're putting the money on the wrong things. And maybe we'll just need to dial on in. And maybe that starts today. So let's dive into the picks. I'll begin with a couple player props, then some long shots, then the streak. And then we'll get on out of here. Obviously, if you want to check out my NFL video for the Cardinals versus Cowboys, you can check that video out. We're up 28 units already in the NFL. So go tap into that. One of my favorite player props of the day, Karl Anthony Towns, over 33.5 points plus rebounds, minus 125 on FanDuel. A 1-unit play here for Cat. You could take him at 34.5. If you're like, Austin, I need an individual line, I'd probably lean points, but I think there's a realistic place he could get, 12 to 15 plus rebounds today, because I do not expect Mitchell Robinson to play tonight. Mitchell Robinson has been starting the last few games against the Bulls, but it is a back-to-back for the Knicks, and he's kind of been dealing with injuries. If he suits up tonight, I would honestly be shocked. I think Cat will have a big day today as him and the Knicks play host against the Wizards. Now, there's some blowout potential here, but it is a back-to-back. One team is not on the back-to-back. That would be the Wizards. So I think they can keep this game competitive. And this has been a matchup that Cat has absolutely destroyed. Look at last season. In his 4 games versus the Wizards, he averaged 29 points per game and 12.5 rebounds per game. He had 36 points and rebounds in a game he only played 25 minutes in, 44, 45, and 42. Now, if you were to look at his numbers this season, you'd be like, Austin, he's only over in 2 of 6 games. And I agree with you. He hasn't, necessarily been great this season, but it's still trying to figure out his role on this offense. But it's not like he's been far away from the line. He had 3 games. Of the 4 he missed, 3 of them he ended with 30, 32, and 33. Right here, we're needing 34, maybe 35, depending on what your line is. And I think this is a great matchup for him. Like I said, the Wizards are really struggling defense. 51% of Cat's points come in the restricted area, where the Knicks or the Wizards rank 28th, third worst, and they also rank 30th versus the pick and roll, man. So look, I like Alex Sarr. I think he's a solid big man, obviously in his second season, but I don't think he's any match for Karl Anthony Towns, even if Cat wants to just crash on some offensive boards. I love his matchup today. We'll play him for 1 unit, over 33.5 points plus rebounds. That's not the last you'll hear of Cat in this video. My second play is a guy making a revenge game back to his old stomping grounds, not notably, but it is Russell Westbrook, over 22.5 PRAs, minus 116 on DraftKings, another 1-unit play. I do have some long shots on Russ. We'll talk about those in a second. But in terms of his PRA line, love it at 22.5. Personally, I was going to take his points and assist line, but they moved the line from 17.5 to 18.5. The difference, 18 to 22.5, is only 4. We know Russ is one of the best rebounding guards in NBA history, so I'll add the rebounds in there. But if your difference is 5, I'd probably lean toward just the points and assists if it's me personally. I find more upside in both those categories because I'm going to be honest. I don't think the Kings get a lot of defensive stops tonight, but I do love Russ as he makes his return to Denver, a team that kind of cast him into the win, similar to some other teams in the NBA, but they were kind of like, you know what? They didn't want to sign him some offseason, go in a different direction. You don't think that's going to piss off Russ a little bit? Plus, we know the Nuggets, not a great defensive team either. And if they're going to leave someone open, it's probably Russell Westbrook. So I look at him having high upside here. Also, I'll get in some long shots. I think there's upside for him, and there's a chance some of his teammates don't play. Now, Malik Monk is out due to personal reasons. Not sure why, but hopefully everything's good in his personal life. As for some other guys, Zach LaVine, also questionable. Dennis Schroeder, also questionable. So, again, this is the final game of a road trip for the Kings. Could they maybe give some of those guys a rest? Yeah, could. I've seen crazier things happen. These NBA guys are always taking days off. I don't think Russ takes a day off. And even if those guys suit up, Russ has been pretty good his last 4 games. He's had 30, 29, 18, and 27 PRAs. The most minutes he's played, 34, came in the last game when Malik Monk was inactive. Now, they threw Russell Westbrook onto the bench, still played 34 minutes. So, and that's kind of the same thing. Like, if he goes onto the bench, I'm not worried about it. Honestly, if he goes on the bench, I might put more units on it because you'll probably get a better line because they would be like, oh, he's not starting. His number should go down. No, he's going to run that second unit. He's going to run it as best as he can against a Nuggets defense that is not all too good. Now, like I said, in Russ's last game when Monk did not play, he had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists, 15 potential assists. I see some upside in all the categories. I'll talk with him in just a second, a little bit more, but I love his overs. Give me the over, 22.5 PRAs. I think he's going to run a lot of pick and roll with Sabonis. He can dish it down to Sabonis, but Jokic is going to play heavy drop coverage. Russ, have a little bit of something to say. He's going to drive into the paint. I think he gets score. Give me his overs tonight. A little bit of revenge game. Obviously, they could get smoked up. They're 12-point underdogs, but maybe they can keep it close. We'll see. My third play is only going to be a half unit, and there's a clear reason why. It's Rui Hachimura, under 13.5 points, plus 100 on FanDuel. This would be a 1-unit play, and it is certainly worthy of being there. The only reason I'm taking a half unit here is because of the injury report. I'm not saying Luka or Reeves does not play here, but they are on a back-to-back. They're 3.5-point underdogs. I could see one of Luka or Reeves getting the day off. They're on a back, like they could. Now, if they don't, I love this play so much, but I'm only playing a half unit right now at 8:40 a.m. because there is some uncertainty. I do think Luka and Reeves play, but again, Luka's already missed a game or two this season, so wouldn't shock anyone if he did not play. But again, why do I want to fade Rui? He just played the Blazers. He scored 16 points in that game. Well, yes, that was a game in which Luka Doncic did not play. And so Rui got a little bit more isolation, a little bit more looks there. If Luka and Reeves are out there tonight, I don't see Rui getting a ton of work because what does Rui become? He's basically a catch and shoot guy. And if you're looking at the Blazers so far this season, they allow the second fewest catch and shoot, spot up shooting points per game. They just don't give up those opportunities. And that's where Rui scores 60% of his points. So again, if Luka and Reeves are out there, they're not giving up spot up looks. I just don't know if he's going to get a lot of opportunities. Sure, he scored 16. That was without Luka. Usage rate a lot higher. Laravia is playing well. Ayton didn't play last night. He's got a little bit of a revenge game here. You expect him to suit up. And so again, I just don't see Rui getting a ton of looks. If assuming Luka and Reeves play, if they don't, maybe don't play this. But again, at a half unit, I'm pretty confident those guys suit up tonight. And so I think we'll see Rui not get a ton of usage. If he goes over, I think it's because he shoots like 5 of 7 from the field, but I don't see a lot of volume coming from him. I love his unders today. My fourth play. Let's get into an assist prop. Only a half unit here because assist props are never good to me, but Peyton Pritchard over 5.5 assists, minus 102 on DraftKings, a half unit play. Obviously, Pritchard plays for the Celtics as they play host to the Jazz tonight. We've taken several assist prop overs against the Jazz, and they normally pay. I should have taken Sexton points and assists last night. Did not. Got too cute and got wrecked. But Pritchard should have the similar game script to what Sexton did. A lot of driving, a lot of converging, a lot of kicking it out to shooters. Now, Pritchard so far this season, he might be like, I don't even know. Also, why aren't you taking Jaylen Brown, Derek White? You could go for those guys. But when I look at the Celtics, I think Pritchard's the guy that I want to target because he is second on the Celtics in drives per game. So he's not just settling for threes. He's getting past his defender and getting to the mid-range, to the rim, and kicking it out to shooters because he's not really shooting a lot of those shots inside. And as a result, his last 6 games, 6, 4, 8, 10, 5, and 4 assists. So he is under in 2 straight. But again, if you look at where he gets his assists, I'll bring up Props Madness tomorrow. Forgot to set up my screen for it. 36% of Pritchard's assists go to the 3-point line. So a lot of driving, kicking it out. The Jazz allow the second most assists per game to 3-pointers. Additionally, another 36% of assists of Pritchard's assists go to shots inside the arc, but non-restricted area where the Jazz allow the most. So maybe you drive, you kick it, you pump fake, and you get into the mid-range, and you get a mid-range there. Again, those are shots that they're giving up. Now, the Jazz don't give up a lot of assists at the rim, which is where you see Derek White, you see Jaylen Brown get theirs. Instead, Pritchard's kind of their guy that drives and kicks it out to other guys. So again, I think there's upside here for Pritchard to get 6 plus over 6 assists. I'll be honest, I have him for 8 assists. I'll talk about that in just a second, but I do like him over 5.5 assists. I think he had similar matchups this season when you saw him get 8 or more. Those were games in which the teams gave up a lot of catch and shoot. Pritchard should drive, kick it to the guys, need them to knock down some shots at home against the Jazz defenses on a back-to-back. certainly would not shock me. My fifth play of the day before getting some long shots is my Delp Club exclusive play. They're 500 on the season. Today's a 1-unit same game parlay. I'll let you know right now, it includes an under in 3-pointers, which was my best market last season. And if that cashes, we'll probably bring back some more unders. But let's talk with some long shots, and then we'll get into the streak. Let's talk with these guys today, and it is going to be 3 bonus NBA picks. They're all parlays, and I'm only playing them for 0.1 units. So again, not going too crazy, but 0.1 unit each. Now, you only see 2 on the screen. I'll show you the third in just a second. The first one is Pritchard, 8 assists, and Sam Hauser to make 3 threes. Now, plus 609 on FanDuel. Every other book was right around the same odds. I like the ladder on Pritchard. We've seen him get 8 assists in 2 games this season. In those 2 games, Pritchard was kicking it out to Hauser, who made 3 and 7 threes. And in those 2, Hauser attempted 10 and 13 threes. We've talked with the Jazz. They give up a ton of catch and shoot. There's a reason we were on Con Knipple last night. I think Sam Hauser, once again, coming off the bench, should play a lot with Pritchard, given they've played a ton minutes in the past few seasons. I think Pritchard will kick it out to Hauser. They obviously go hand in hand together. If Pritchard's getting 8 assists, it's probably because Hauser's knocking down shots for us. Then I have that Russell Westbrook little same game parlay, 10 assists and 10 points, plus 1265 on FanDuel. Again, just a 0.1 unit play. I've already talked about the upside for Russ in scoring. Jokic is going to be in drop coverage. He should be able to dive to the rim, but sometimes Russ will dish it off to some bonus for some easy looks. And I think he's running that second unit. We just saw in their last game, he had 15 potential assists, 10 actual assists. No Monk in that game. They'll need his playmaking here. And obviously upside if Schroeder or Levine misses. I would like Schroeder to miss more. Well, they kind of both, but I'll take both. But if we had to pick one guy, you'd probably lean towards Schroeder because then you'll see Russ run the offense a little bit more. And then my third bonus, NBA parlay is Russ to get a triple-double. Now I'm playing this for 0.1 units. It would yield 8 units back to the bankroll, get us back in the green. Russ, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. I think on DraftKings, they don't have the ability to take 10, want to say rebounds. So you actually can get it for 9 rebounds. I think that's what their line is. And it's like a plus 75, plus 8,000. So take that if you want to. I don't really see a lot of upside in the rebounds. I'll be honest with you. But when you click up something like this on the books and you see the odds, how do I not play it for 0.1 unit? I've done dumber things with 0.1 unit. Heck, the ladder challenge has been a 0.1 unit loss the last few days. I might as well throw it on this. If we get some luck with the injury report and maybe this game stays tight, maybe Russ gets there. We know he's one of the best triple-double guys in NBA history. Crazier things have happened. The Russell Westbrook getting a triple-double on a random Monday night when some of his teammates are banged up and he's facing a former squad. So plus 8,000, sprinkle on it, put $1 or $2. I don't really care. I like our chances there. And then finally, let's end the video with the streak. Now, the streak is my new segment. We did this a few months ago, not last season. I ended up posting on Twitter. It was a cesspool of hate. And I get there's a lot of people on Twitter that love it. But again, I'll just keep it in the videos and to the Dub Club and Discord. So this is just a bonus pick you won't find anywhere else. It is a segment where you start with, a minus 250 to minus 500 play. You start with a quarter unit. Now I'm starting with $25 because that's a quarter unit for me. But again, I don't advise you if your unit size is $5 to throw 25 units on it. That would be dumb. So start with, if your unit size is $5, $10, but start with $1 or $2. It is just meant to have some fun, see if we can build together some alt lines and make some money. So again, if you started with $25 and you manage to hit, whatever 20 minus 500s in a row, you'd be at almost $1,000. I don't know if they'll all be a minus 500. I don't know if they'll be less than that, more than that. I have no idea. I'll try to stick to minus 500 or less than, and I'll give you the first one. This is what I'm rolling with. Actually, a 2-leg little parlay here. It is, as you see on the screen, we're rolling with Giannis and Cat, both to grab 8 boards. Simple. $25 into about 30 and a half. Again, only play these for a quarter unit. So whatever your unit size is, stick there. Mine is $25. Yours can be whatever it is. Again, if your unit size is $10, do not put $25 on this, please. We'll see how many we can hit in a row. Again, those 2 guys love their matchups. Obviously love Cat, love Giannis, both great hit rates. I'll take a chance on both those 2 guys grabbing 8 boards for us tonight. Bucks facing the Pacers. He should have a good matchup there. I think the Pacers are giving up some of the most rebounds per game, and then the Wizards giving up a ton of rebounds. If that Knicks game is a blowout, Cat's probably grabbing some boards. So again, playing that minus 450, a quarter unit. I'll track it towards the record. I have no idea where we will pull out. So again, this is kind of what would happen if you did minus 500. Obviously, today's already minus 450. So I don't know where we'd pull out. We definitely would pull out our are maybe after a week, if we hit 7 in a row, maybe we pull out our original $25. I don't really know. It's just something to have some fun, spice up these NBA videos and see what we can do with it. Again, it's just a quarter unit. Don't hopefully that I beat that into your head enough. But those are the picks. Again, if you want to check out my Cowboys versus Cardinals video, that video is linked over here. We've been cooking in the NFL. And if you want to check out day 1 of the ladder challenge, we're cooking over there. Well, not cooking, actually. The ladder challenge has been cake recently. We're getting back tonight. Either way, thanks for tuning in on a Monday. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully you have a great week. And yes, it is already Christmas season in the Call on Our Shot household. As we have a baby on the way, who knows when the heck that thing's showing up. We'll see. See you guys in the next one. Peace.